Happy Halloween from Bangkok. Today we're answering a sales engineer question from the sales engineering subreddit. How is a typical day like at Cisco as an SE, as a technical solutions architect? Now, this person wants to know about the mid-market. I never did mid-market. I did select. 80 to 90% of what we'll talk about today should be the same. Some days of the week you're completely slammed, 8 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever the time you start, all the way up until 6 or 7 p.m., you've just completely slammed on meetings. Once every 2 weeks, I had a day like that where I couldn't even leave for lunch and I had to call in for lunch. I had to get it delivered, and just in between meetings, I was just, I had like 5 minutes in between meetings and just had to just snarf down some food and get a quick drink. You do have days which are unicorn days. We call them unicorn days. And a unicorn day is a day where you don't have any meetings at all. You have no in-person customer meetings. You might have maybe one or no virtual meetings. There's no WebEx. It's completely open. And okay, you answer a couple emails and then you can go to the mall and maybe do some more emails, do some studying. The reason we call them unicorn days is they don't come too often. But I would say in my year in Select, I had one of those, maybe one or two every month. Most days, the majority of the days are a mix. You have a couple meetings virtually. You might have a in-person meeting, visit a customer. In mid-market, you have a lot of customers. And in Select, I had about 15 to 20 customers. You want to meet with your customers. You want to show off, demo some products. You want to just catch up. How are your projects going? What projects do you have coming up? Because a lot of this job is getting ahead of what the customer is planning, so that they have you in mind. Oh, we're gonna update our switches. We're gonna update our Wi-Fi. We're gonna update our data center. And Humphrey was just here earlier, or Humphrey was here earlier in the week. Let's talk with Humphrey. Your competitors are definitely visiting your customers. Some of them maybe a lot more. A lot of these meetings might be scheduled by your account manager if you're working with a single account manager. If you're in mid-market, you probably belong to a pool of account managers. And the week before, we try to plan out the week ahead. And so I was thinking about this day, we'll visit customer A in the morning, and then we'll visit customer B in the afternoon. We try to meet the morning customer around 10 a.m. I don't like doing like super early meetings because you're going to fight traffic. And also your customer, myself included, the customer and myself might not be fully awake and 100% there. If you have a meeting right before lunch, you could do a short meeting before lunch. And then, hey, you want to get a bite to eat? I'm trading type of thing. And you can continue the conversation. It gives you an excuse to kind of continue the conversation informally. Let's say we leave the lunchtime around 1 to 1:30, then have to drive to the afternoon meeting and might get there 2:30, maybe 3, and then we'll have an hour meeting. Let's say it's around 4 p.m. Account manager and myself will hit the coffee shop or hit the bar. Account managers love to drink. Holy crap, they love to drink. So we'll hit the bar, answer emails from the bar, plan out, take notes. What did you think about customer A? What did you think about customer B? The account manager is probably going to be opening up Salesforce, putting in their opportunities, whereas I'm updating my technical notes about the customer. We may have some take-home items from the customer where they are asking about, we were looking at your switches and we have some questions about the capabilities of this switch or this AP or that firewall. And then, try to answer them. If not the same day, then, I can at least shoot back an email the same day talking about, thanks for thanks for meeting with us. You had these questions. I'll get you the answers tomorrow or the day after, but you want to at least acknowledge them the same day. Thanks for meeting. And it's kind of like you put your notes of the meeting inside of the email that you send out that night. And it's a super quick, you don't need to think too much about it. It might take you 1 or 2 minutes to bang out that email. These internal meetings are meetings with your AM, meetings with your boss. A lot of this is done through WebEx, or it could be at the office. 60 to 70% virtual, so WebEx meetings, and then the other 20 to 30% of the internal meetings were in person. If you're in New York, then everyone's going to One Penn Plaza, and maybe the expectation is everyone's going to the office. So your mix might be 50-50 or 25% virtual and 75% in person. Then we'll have partner meetings. Now, as mid-market or select, you're going to be meeting with partners a decent amount. In the US, when you're dealing with the larger partners in VARs like WWT and CDW, they know what they're doing. I mean, WWT is basically shadow Cisco. So they're all smart. A lot of times they're smarter than I am. They have a lot of your team meetings in the beginning of the week. So the Mondays and Tuesdays kind of suck for team meetings because you've got your SE team meeting, and you might have your entire team, sales team meeting, and sometimes they're 30 minutes, sometimes there is an hour. You could also have an op-wide meeting or a larger meeting for the state or for the region. So it's just like the Monday tends to be like slammed with, I try not to schedule any customer meetings on a Monday because we know that it's slammed with internal meetings. We tend to have a lot of the internal training meetings. So this is a new feature, Humphrey, you're leading this meeting, etc. And Friday, we have like the closing out the week. How's your week? A lot of the salespeople also have their sales meetings where they update the opportunities. What are you working on? What are you working on? Etc. Lunch and learns. So lunch and learn is you've got a new product, you've got a new feature. It's like the name implies, you show up during lunchtime. And of course, you're going to buy them food because you're taking their lunchtime, you're taking their time. We had one customer basically say, no one brings us anything. Like our bosses, our work never feeds us. They're basically treated like crap. And so for us to come in and give them food, and once again, I don't push hard. I'm not the guy to say buy this type of thing. It's like, hey, if I'm here to show you something cool, and if you're interested, then you talk to the AM and we go from there. So sometimes the partner will put out an evening event, like CDW will have something cool, like let's all go to the Dodgers game, or let's all go to. One time it was Clippers, the other time it was Lakers, Kobe Bryant's last game at Staples Center. And so we got invited to that, and it was from one of the suites. That was pretty cool. Once in a while that happens. And I would say that was like once or twice a month. We'd have like some evening event. So escalations, how much time do we spend a day for escalations? Now, thankfully, I think I had 2 like big escalations in Select in SoCal. What happens in an escalation is something breaks bad, where the customer is down. And there's different levels of escalation. There's CAP and triple R. So things break, they want you to call, or they're already talking to Cisco support, Cisco TAC, and they want you to tag along. And that's fine. I'm happy to do that. In Select RFPs, so RFPs is you get like a multiple page questionnaire. We're picking between 2 vendors, answer all these questions. That was seldom. That didn't happen at all. Maybe that year I got 2, possibly. Happens more in enterprise. But in select and mid-market, no, because it doesn't need to be an RFP. In Asia, and specifically in Singapore, everything is an RFP. Everything above a certain dollar amount is an RFP because we're giving everyone an equal shot. Everyone has to fill out the RFP. And that's another video for later because, and I'll give you a teaser, you look through the RFP questions and you go, wow, that's a very specific requirement that you have there. That sounds like from the FortiGate manual or from the FortiGate product page. You have a lot of control over your schedule, and you can block off, you can preemptively block off your calendar. That's cool. Like, you're an adult, you're responsible for your calendar. Yes, you do have specific mandatory meetings, but the 2 hours in between, if you block it off and you want to go to the gym, you want to do some self-studying, that's completely fine. I had a lot of autonomy with both my scheduling and where I did my work. So a lot of times, if I want to work out of Starbucks and take my meetings out of Starbucks, I can. Okay, so I know we covered a lot of topics. We kind of jumped all over the place, but if you have any questions or comments, put them in the section below and we'll make another video, or we can answer them in the questions section. But yeah, happy to do these videos. I've helped a lot of people get into Cisco and other places, Palo Alto, Juniper, etc., as SEs. We do that as part of the Router Gods meetup group. It's completely free, and happy to do it. Happy to help a lot of the network engineers become SEs and make more money and have a better life. That's what it's all about. So, Humphrey with Router Gods. Take care, stay safe, and happy Halloween.